A very good afternoon to everyone. This is Namaste. This is Harsha Ramaiya, founder and director of Small Wonders and core committee member for Early Childhood Association. Before I start my session for today, let me thank First Cry and the entire team, Nishta and Sureja also, for inviting me on this page and helping me out to reach to this point to connect to all the audience. So, the topic today that I'm going to talk is indeed a very, very interesting topic. And I'm sure that all the parents are struggling with the behavior of the children. They want to know the strategies, they want to know the tips, because it's very difficult to at times, understand the children. So this session is going to be very, very interesting because a lot of things that I have put in this session are from my own experience. So before I start my session, I would like to tell everyone a very important thing that there is no such thing as the perfect parenting. So at least enjoy that matter that we are parents and we have beautiful children in our homes. Struggles are there, challenges are there during this entire process of parenting. So we can always share our problems, we can discuss our problems with experts, and we can get the solutions. But again, I will underline one important thing that any solution that works for one parent does not give a guarantee that it will work for the other parent. Because here, each and every child is unique, each and every child is different. So, to handle that child, always there is a different set of instructions, there is a different methodology. So what we can do is we can try and understand, and then we can implement those things when we understand that what is the type of our child. So what I have done to make this session very, very brief, very, very crisp, and very, very understandable is that today I'm going to first of all explain the types of children. So once a parent understands that what is my child's type, further you can then elaborate and work the suggestions given here on this platform. Second, I'm going to address a certain behavioral issues in the toddlers and children, which are mostly found in this age criteria. And then I have jotted down a few tips and a few activities that will help you to take control of that behavior. So let me first start with the types of children. And when I mention types of children, broadly, they fall in four categories. That is fun-loving child, determined child, sensitive child, and a serious child. So broadly, any child you can fit them in these one of these categories, or two categories, or a child can be mixed of all these types that I mentioned, because children have a lot of mood swings, children have a lot of other activities to do within the entire day, and how they respond to each activity may be different. So invariably, if you go to see, children fall basically in these four types. I will again repeat these types: fun loving, sensitive, determined, and serious. Now, let me explain what each category means so that it becomes very easy for you to identify your child type, and further, then when you can put them in that category, and then you can understand the solution to that problem. So, the fun loving children, as the name sounds, they are very happy go lucky kind of a people, very flexible, very adjusting, least tantrums. And tantrums also when things go very much haywire or very much out of their control. So these children are basically a good proportion or a good balance of emotional quotient. So I think that we all, crave to have these kind of children. And I will not be surprised if any one of you will tell कि हमारा बच्चा ऐसा नहीं है. So very less children have this kind of balanced quotient, but these are those children who are very curious, they make friends very easily, they get adjusted to any environment very easily. They don't need anything at all, no preconditioning or nothing. They are very happy-go-lucky kind of children. Second, as I mentioned, is sensitive children. First, I will explain the types of the children, and then I will further help you to identify them and how you can deal to get the best out of them. Second is the sensitive child. So this child is a very peaceful child. In the entire day, he lives with himself in a cozy corner. A type of an introvert characteristic is there in this child. He takes lot of this child needs a lot of preconditioning for every single thing. So you have to precondition and make him prepared for every situation. So this child is very sensitive, and his emotional quotient is at a high level. So he's a very emotional child, and these parents who have this set of children have to be very, very emotional with them. Then is the determined child, the most committed firm children. ये ऐसे children होते हैं. They have a very, very strong willpower. They are very active. At times you can use hyperactive word also with them. They are very, very adventurous, and they have a lot of leadership skills in them. So these are the children. They are a combination of fun loving, and at times they are stubborn. So I will explain when if you have this kind of a child, how to deal with that child in a next couple of minutes. Then we have a serious child. This child is not so playful. He lives with himself. He's a very lonely kind of a child, less adventurous. This child is not flexible, very inflexible. He stays in his own world. He has his own set of toys, very few friends, and at times these children are the most criticized children. Because a lot of things are expected out of these children, and at times they fail to deliver to the optimum of their expectations. So again, I will now run through the types of the child that I mentioned. So if you have a fun loving child, best you can do is you can praise them, and this praising goes for all categories. But when I mean the word praise, it should be genuine praise, because at times parents misunderstand this word very much, and they will always keep praising the child for anything. So it is very important, because ye praising hai, it is such kind of a transaction that it has to be used very, very mindfully. So it can go against you. So when we are praising our children, it is very important to have a balanced approach. Second important thing is, whenever you are praising your child, you have to keep in mind that you are praising the child's effort. So the focus of the child remains on the effort that he has done. Then you have to go down to their level to get the best out of them. These children love people, and they always want to be surrounded with people. But if you are going to have that difference of level, I think you will not be able to connect with that child. So you have to go to the child's level to get the best. These children need lot of freedom, because they want to explore a lot of things. So they need lot of freedom. So I think if we have that kind of a child who wants to explore, that kind of a platform should be given, because only then this child will be able to grow. Then we have a sensitive child. If we have a sensitive child with us, the first important thing is to safeguard the emotions of these children, because they get emotionally attached, influenced by any person. So we have to be as a guard there, and we have to give them that assurance of safety, because they always are looking for safety. If you take them to the market, they will not leave your hand. They will cling to your dupatta and those kind of behaviors, because they are very insecure. So these children live with themselves, but they need someone besides them every single moment. So I think that if we have those kind of children, we should address that point, because if we leave these children on their own, it is going to be very difficult for these children to understand. So, in their growing years, it is very important for us to give them a back support. We have to be there. And when I mean back support, means you don't have to do on their behalf. You have to help them, guide them, and assist them. We have to be as a facilitator there. Then these children are not very outgoing. So I would suggest that if you have this kind of a child, do not push that child to be very active on platforms like in school competitions, or talk to friends or talk to relatives when they come home, because these children have that shy personality. And whenever they find any stranger, or whenever they have to go to the school and perform for any competition, it fears them. So if we push these children, it will go against. So we have to be very cautious with our behavior, so that we give them confidence, and in this process we do not ruin their personality. Their pace may be slow. Their pace may be slow. I am repeating this because it is very important. As parents, our expectations and the child's pace do not match. So I think this is a very big tip from my side, that we have to understand the pace of the child and bring our expectation level to match up to that pace. Because once this matching is done, I think the child will develop confidence. So our role as parents is to enhance, to help the child develop confidence in himself. It's not to expect a lot out of a child. So let's understand this child. Then is the determined child. As I mentioned, determined child is a very firm child. So here problem will be that mothers, specifically moms, will always try to lock horns with the child, because there will be clashes. The child wants to do something else, the mother wants something else to be done, and the horn locking is going to be there. So here, as mothers, as parents, we have to understand that this child is a leader child. When you see the child taking leadership on his own, and these qualities develop from 2 years, and then you see each level getting better than the earlier level. So you have to understand that, okay, my child is a risk taker, my child has these leadership qualities. So definitely, if he has that leadership quality, definitely he is going to be firm. As I mentioned, determined child. So you have to understand and then behave. So this child needs lots of freedom, more than the fun loving child, because fun loving child, as I said, is very flexible, but this determined child is very less flexible, because he has his own thoughts, he has his own actions to do, he has his own world to explore. So here it is going to be a challenge for the parents to give that kind of a platform, and we have to think about giving them the best platform, because if we give them the right platform, you can expect the best out of these children. So, number one tip for, if you have a firm child, I will not use the word stubborn for the child, but yes, I will use this word stubborn for us parents, because at times, you know what happens, there is a clash between our guidance or our instructions to the children and what the children do. So the horns are locked and there is a fight. So here it is very important for us to step back, watch, and then take a step to respond to any situation that happens in that process. Then is the serious child, as I mentioned. This child needs a lot of programming. Serious child also has some safety, security issues, so that has to be addressed very well. And if you are successful to address those issues, gradually when the child grows, you will see that his nature, his type will change, because at some point of time children need more security. For example, if you drop these serious children, I'm specifically talking about them, if you drop them to the play school, the first day you will see that lot of anxiety, separation anxiety is found in these type of children. if that behavior is handled properly at that particular time, I think it will go a long way. So whatever you promise to these children, you have to keep up to their promises. That is number one. You cannot fool around. If you've told them that you will come at this time, if you've told them that you will not come, some other person is going to come to pick, that you have to stay on your words, because it is very, very important, because these children make a note of every single thing that you talk to them. And here, very important tip I would like to give is understand what they are thinking and what they are feeling. Because at times, once you start understanding and assimilate that what the child is thinking and what the child is feeling, it will be very, very easy for you to then deal with any situation that comes your way with this child. So they are very delicate children, I will say. They are very delicate, but I'm not trying to scare you. Time is the heal for that. If in the growing years you give proper support to the children, emotional support to the children, these children, specifically serious children, and you involve them in each and everything, you talk to them. For example, you are taking them to a birthday party. If you pre-program them properly, if you explain each and everything, you will see gradually they develop confidence, and gradually these children's pattern also keeps on changing. So these were the four types of children which I mentioned, and a few characteristics for you to identify, and a few tips if you have these children. You may have combinations also. As I mentioned, you may have all the four qualities at different point of time, because each child has all these qualities at given point of time in 24 hours. When they are playing with someone, they behave differently. When they are talking with someone, they behave differently. So you have to identify, and at each situation you have to behave. So our role as parents becomes very, very important at this stage. So if we are able to identify, and if we are able to enhance proper proportion of confidence, I think we've done it. So let me take you further. A few behavioral issues specifically in toddlers I have jotted down are, excuse me, interrupting, screaming, or running away, throwing tantrums. So, toddlers, there is a stage for each development. So, if you ask a 2-year-old child to understand something, you have to first understand that which age you are catering, because every stage has its development of understanding. So if we have to first understand what we are expecting out of that child. Now, for example, if I'm talking about interrupting, you have to understand that these children are very, very excited children. This quality of interrupting is a negative criticism. Now let me take you to the positive side. These children are very, very excited, and they cannot wait for their turn to speak. So every time when you are talking, they will come in between and they want to put their word forth. So this, I would say, is a very good quality, but has to be handled with care. Because I will give you my example. My son is a serious type of a child, and my daughter is a combination of fun loving, serious, sensitive, everything. She's a combination of all the four patterns that I mentioned. Now she has this habit of interrupting. So what I do is I take it as she's very excited, because anything that I talk in the house, उसका level का हो कि उसका level का नहीं हो, she will interrupt and she has to say something. So here what I take is that yes, she has good listening skills. That is why she's jumping in. And second, she has good talking skills. So she's very talkative. So I will take that in a positive note. Now, to deal with these children, it is very difficult, and it will take a long time for you to set this pattern. So what you can do is that I have practiced and I have found considerably good response out of this, what I have tried it. So let them finish. Every time they interrupt in between, give them a chance. We have to pause, let them finish. Okay. Now, after they have finished, you have to then tell them that, beta, I heard you uninterrupted. Now, can you do that? This will never happen in the first go. So anything that you will practice will never happen in the first go. It needs lot of practice and lot of consistency. So each time my daughter interrupts, I have to keep that frame of mind that I have to listen to her, though how much ever important topic I'm talking to my husband or to my son or to my maid or to anyone, and she's interrupting. If at that point of time I lose my temper and I react instead of responding, it's going to ruin whatever I have built till then. So it's very important. Once I decide that, okay, I'm going to address this issue of my child of interrupting in between, I will take it that my child is very, very excited, number one. So, you know, that negativity goes, कि ये interrupt करते ही रहते हैं. So that negativity goes. Second, every time she interrupts, I will listen to her, and gradually in that process, what I will do, when I have started telling her that, okay, now mama has heard you, now you have to hear mama uninterruptedly. So then when I start a conversation with my husband, I program beforehand to my daughter that, beta, mama is going to talk to your dad and you don't have to interrupt. Let mama finish and then you say whatever you want to say. So this whole programming has to take place each and every time. And believe me, 10, 15 times you start programming this, definitely you will find results. And then when you start talking, you will not have to give this instruction because it is already now feeded in the mind. So when you have an interrupting child, understand that yes, this is a very excited child. So don't use that negative criticism. Second, screaming. This quality also you will find in my daughter because she screams a lot. And but I'll tell you that this is an age issue because she was 3, I think less than 3 at that time. I found that she used to shout a lot. But then gradually when she turned 4, then when she turned 5, and now when she's 6, I find that quality, you know, declining in her. So I think this is also an age specific quality. So if at all you have this kind of a child, you can do, you know, what you can do is what generally moms do and what I also did earlier. If the child screams, I will also howl back. I will also scream, oh, shut up. First, let mama finish. That will be my behavior. And I think most of us behave in the same manner because we don't, you know, if someone screams, it goes out of mind, bus, please, abhi nahi. So I think at that point of time, if the child is louder, you have to be softer. I think that works. In the classroom also, I have tried this technique many a times that if you enter a class and the class is chaotic, and if you just go and stand there and if you say, gradually till you reach the 10 count, 70-80% children have settled and they are looking at teacher kya kar rahe hain. Same goes with the mother. Because here I think words will not speak. Your actions, your eye contact is going to speak. So if you have a problem of screaming, that your child screams a lot, at that jitna uska pitch hai, you have to become that softer. So at times you can whisper, you know, so then the child, huh? So the child will come down. So this trick I have tried, and believe me, it has worked wonders with my child. So every time my child shouts or screams, when she used to, now she doesn't, but when she used to, I used to be very slow with her. And then gradually when I, you know, told stories to her, I'll come to that part also in the last part of my session, that when I told her stories, I used to address each and every issue that I had with her behavior. And then I used to, you know, give that third party credibility that if this child is screaming, will we like? So then she understands. And I will never take her friend's name, so that, you know, that becomes a part of bully. So I will take names which are unknown or any story character's name. So this helped me to decrease, and gradually this is, as I said, this is an age appropriate issue. So as the age grows, definitely this will go down. Next is running away. So this running away is one thing is that the child is shy, And second, the child is very active. So if you take that child to a mall or any cinema theater or any to any party, you will see that the child leaves your hand and starts running. And this child is a big risk taker. So he, will climb on any sofa or climb on any stool, table, anything, and he's not bothered about his body at all. He will leave lose his body anywhere, and we are tense because it is dangerous. So these children are very, very active. And when I use the term hyperactive, I'm not trying to put that term in a negative zone. They're active, their body wants that kind of activity, that kind of movement for which these children crave. So they run from here to there to channelize their energy. So here what you can do is give them ample opportunities where their physical body is moving. And again, as I mentioned in my previous tip also, that pre-programming is very, very important. If you have these kind of children who will not listen to you when you go to public places and they start running and sometimes destroying something, you have to program them beforehand. And as I mentioned earlier also, these programs have to be redone again and again. So they don't last long. They are very, very temporary. So any instruction you give to the children is very, very temporary. It expires. So again, you have to feed in. Again, it expires. Again, you have to feed in. So whenever you're taking your children to the mall, and if you feel that your children, don't stay in your hands and they run here and there, it's very important to pre-program them. Second, you have to always, though it works or no, though they understand or no, but you have to talk about the danger things that happen. But not at that time. Because when children go out, they want to explore the world. And if at that time I'm going to sit down and I'm going to tell them, आप उधर से गिर जाओगे, आपको ये लग जाएगा, it's not going to work. I have to do this when children are at peace of mind. Either their feeding time, if you're not feeding the child with the mobile, I think that is the best time because my daughter is at peace when she's having her lunch or dinner. Or when you have your bedtime stories, when you tell, or 10-15 minutes before the bed, at that time, children are very calm and very open to listen to everything. So I think if that time you just explain to them, if any mishap has happened with any other person, you can discuss that thing. Or if the child himself or herself has misbehaved, today if you've taken the child to the mall and you find that the child is not behaved properly, running here and there, at night before bedtime, you can just talk that, beta, today we went to the mall and I saw you were running here and there, you would have fallen down or you would have hurt yourself. I am sure 50% the child will absorb. And then continuously, when you talk this way to your child, it's going to make an impact. And these all behaviors, as I mentioned, are age specific. So once the children grow little elder, definitely you will find some changes in their behavior. But our approach should be very, very balanced and very, very clear in these terms. Then throwing tantrums. I'm sure we all toddlers के जो parents होते हैं सबसे बड़ा problem है tantrums, how to handle the tantrums. So sometimes, I have seen children lie down, they cry their lungs out, they are lying on the floor, rolling, and otherwise they'll bang their head on the wall or they'll jump and, they will shout and scream and everything. So here, I think the basic tip that I would give and that has worked with me is that at that particular time, allow the feelings to float, allow the feelings to release, because there is something that the child is either not liked or there is something that the child is struggling with. Only then that child will throw a tantrum. So it's very important first to let the child do whatever, stand there and keep observing like this. Be like a statue. Believe me, this sounds a little idiotic, a little stupid, but it works. So whenever a child is throwing a tantrum, you have to be as cool as possible. You don't even have to raise your eyebrows. You have to stand still and just observe the child, that till what extent can he throw the tantrum. Let him do whatever he does. Just watch. Fold your hands and just keep watching. Then when you find a good moment in that process, Go near the child and hug the child. I think that is the best thing that you can do. At that particular time, again, I will use this word, do not lock horns. Because if in that moment of heat or aggression, you are also going to burst out, it's going to fail. Because if the child is louder, he is throwing tantrum, and you are also there throwing a tantrum only. This is only a tantrum. Because if you are a parent, it should be your approach how to handle that tantrum. But if you are going to shout and scream and lose your temper, I'm sure this is a tantrum of a parent. So don't lock horns. Wait, stand still without giving any expressions. Any expression. Do not even your eyes should say that you are angry. Then go near the child and hug the child. I think it's sometimes a hug works better than words. And as I mentioned, to talk to children is not that moment when anything is happening. At that particular time, they are not in that phase of mind or in that frame of mind to listen to anything, because they want someone to listen to them. So if you go and you are doing blah, 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 it's not going to work. So I think understanding their feelings, maybe they are going through something. Kuch bhi hai. Sometimes children are wrong also, sometimes they are right also, whatever. Try to understand them, be a statue and give a hug to them. Now, some tips, as I mentioned, I will like to give you that when you have any behavioral issues, the first tip is not to react but to respond. And there is a big difference when you react to a situation and when you respond, because reaction is very prompt and respond means you are waiting, you're thinking what to do. Second, stay positive. You have to be very, very positive. If you have decided that you have children and you are a parent, I think this quality is very difficult, easy, to say rather than doing it. But staying positive all the time is a challenge. But believe me, if you start working, if you start doing a little self-talk with yourself, I think over a period of 21 days, only 21 days, you will find that you are having a positive approach towards any and everything. So every morning when you get up, try to say 5 positive sentences to your own self. You have to program your mind first, then only you will be able to reflect that programming in your children. So it's very important to stay positive. Be consistent, as I said. This is very important, because if your response to your child keeps changing, then children also are very smart to understand. Children know what to get from whom and when. A 2-year-old child also understands the loop of the family. So it's very important that if you decide a way of pattern to respond to your child, you have to be consistent in that pattern. You cannot keep that changing. So it's very important to underline that. Change the rules sometimes. Don't be a strict mother. Be very, very flexible. Very, very flexible means, what I mean to say is कि हाँ जैसे be consistent में I'm telling to be consistent, and in the rules I'm trying to tell you that change. No, what I mean to say is here that at times, as a reward, you can change the rule for that particular moment. Okay, so today my child has done this good thing, so today this rule will be little changed. So it is a kind of a reward that you give the children. So it's very important to understand between the lines, be consistent and rule changing. So it should not intersect in between to give a negative remark to the child. Be a role model. I'm sure that we've gone through this wonderful proverb most of the times in our lives, that actions speak louder than words. So when it comes to children, this works, and this only works because they look up to us, they look up to our behavior, they look up to our reactions. How do we react to each and every situation? And definitely, these children are the miniature versions of our own selves. So anything that we tell the children, as I'm pointing here, 3 fingers are coming back to me. So I think that if I'm looking for a change, a small change in my child's behavior, the role model has to be correct in that place. So everything boils down to your own self. Disciplining is necessary. Yes, it is very, very necessary. But threatening the children, hitting the children, or giving them punishment is not allowed. So do not do that. Yes, discipline hona hi chahiye. It should be there. So set certain rules in the house and stick to those rules. Relax, as I said. At the end of each day, do not panic, because I've seen mothers, they struggle with these challenges so much that at the end of the day they are frustrated. So relax. These are phases of every child's age. This too shall pass as the child grows. So sit back and relax. You have to do your job correct and then relax. So do not panic. Then there are a few activities and exercises that I would like to share quickly, and then I will run through the question answers if you all have put any questions in the comment section box. All the children, four types that I mentioned, you should put them into doing any kind of physical exercise. When I mean to say physical exercise is not that one, two, three, four, anything. But in our homes, there are a lot of chores that happen. For example, if we are sitting on the sofa, if we want to have a glass of water, you can tell the child, yes, beta, just go and run and bring that bottle from the fridge and a glass from the drawer. Mama wants to drink water. That is also an exercise. The children need engagement. They need engagement, continuous engagement. And if you are good to keep the children engaged, least tantrums you will have to confront. Least tantrums, believe me. Second is role playing. This is very, very important when you have determined children. I will not use that word stubborn, but just to relate or correlate that word, I will say, if you have those kind of children, if you have serious children also. So what you can do is, if you have a determined, a stubborn child, you can role play the thing that you want. If you want a very nice and fun loving child, if you want that kind of a behavior, you can do in these role plays. You're playing house जैसे घर घर हम लोग खेलते हैं. So you can become one character, the child becomes other character, and then in those conversations you can act beautifully. So I think when you are dealing with these kind of things and when you react or respond in that manner, children understand. So role playing is very, very important. As I said, with my daughter, she likes to play teacher very much. She becomes the teacher, I have to become the student. So what I do, she does not like to write Hindi. So what I do, I tell her that today teacher will take this Hindi period. So when she's in that teacher role, she will love Hindi. So she'll take out your book and start writing ka, kha, ga, and I will behave exactly how she does. So she will come back to me and then she'll give me some solutions. See, you cannot write like this. You have to write good. You have to. So she has those things in her mind. It's only that she's not using it. So in these role plays, we can always give and take these kind of conversations. And believe me, it works. You can play doctor. I play car wash also a lot with my daughter because she loves washing the car. So we wash the car, then we take that car to the petrol pump and we fill the petrol. So I become a person who fills the petrol. She gives me the money. So we run through entire conversation. So in these conversations, there are behaviors. There are the tones, how we talk, the choice of words that we make with that child. So children love so much out of these things. So I think you can enact these role plays, and you can generate your own role plays also. As I mentioned, there is one house like her doctor, teacher. Then we play the supermarket also. She'll put all her things on the floor, and that all things are put on sale, and then I'll become a customer and I will like something and I'll demand for another color. So this is a beautiful way of dealing and letting the children learn how to deal. Then storytelling. As I mentioned, every single day, take out at least 5 minutes, or if you can take out more, beautiful, but at least 5 minutes, talk about a story. And in that story, try to weave that behavior that you want your child to change. And in this story weaving, never take the names of the friends of your children, because then it will become a bully factor. So try to take a comic name or any movies or characters or cartoons that the child is watching, and then try to talk about their behavior. For example, if my daughter is watching Chota Bheem, And if any act that happens in that story is not good, and when I'm talking to my daughter, I'll say, आज हम दोपहर को देख रहे थे छोटा भीम, that episode. Do you think Chota Bheem did a good job? So I think if those conversations are done, half the work is done. Because children then start analyzing, then they start understanding. Then play good behavior games. These are very, very beautiful games. As I play with my daughter, so we'll say, चलो आज हम 5 magical words की game खेलेंगे. And then I ask her to bring something, and then I'll tell her, if you brought something to me, what should I tell? Then she say, thank you. And when I say thank you to you, what you have to say? Welcome. So then if I hurt you, or if I have taken anything from you, should I take your permission? How will I take? So these are good behavioral games, and they can inculcate good behavior while playing. Then indoor and outdoor games. I think out of all I mentioned, I will underline and tick these two, because playing games will help the children release emotions, and all the behavior issues which I have jotted down, if you dig down and reach the grassroots level, emotions is the basic problem. So if we cater that problem very nicely, I think the problems that arise will be little lesser. So playing games indoor and outdoor both I suggest, because they really challenge children's minds. They give children, they are recreational. So children love spending time playing. And believe me, a lot of parents tell me that play, में क्या करते हैं बच्चे? Play, it's just a play. But let me tell you, play is not waste. Play is the work of childhood, because children love a lot of things while they are playing. So I'm sure all the tips and the strategies about behavior management that I have shared today are going to be useful to you. So if you have any questions, kindly put them in the comment section box. I will be very happy to answer them. And I'll just check if I have any on my mobile as well. Okay, there is a wonderful question. My baby is completed 3 years. She reacts sometimes very aggressive. She's very much sensitive. Sometimes it looks like she's adamant. How do I manage this behavior type? She is obedient and does what I tell her, but sometimes, as I mentioned, ma'am, very rightly you've used this word that she's adamant. So now when we are using these words as adamant, let's understand that these children have a quality of firmness. So these children have leadership qualities, and as I mentioned कि ये बच्चे ऐसे होते हैं जिनको बहुत technically you have to handle them. So do not whenever they want to do something at that particular time, give them freedom, and then come back to them with that issue. Okay, you were very stubborn. I'm not in favor of using this word stubborn, so I'm using this word firm. So when you are again talking to the child, you can always come back ki beta, see, in the afternoon you were very firm on this thing and you did this thing, but next time I will be very happy if you are little cool on that side. And as you mentioned that she's obedient also, so she's a mix of determined and fun loving child. So here you will have to give freedom of exploration to your child. And once you give that freedom of exploration, definitely, gradually you will find that yes, there are a lot of behavioral changes in the child, but do not lock horns. As I said, we have to be very patient if we have these kind of children. We have to allow them to do what they like, unless it is threatening or it is violent. हम कर सकते हैं. Aggression word that you have used, I will say it's not aggression, it's the flow of their emotions which they don't know how to express. So at times they become very, very aggressive. So I don't think that has to be even noticed. My son is 4 years old and is very moody and throws a lot of tantrums, and sometimes in excess also gets very angry. We often try to pacify him calmly, but sometimes nothing works. How do we control such behavior? So here, as I mentioned, as you said, that tantrum throwing is because of lot of things. Children are not able to express. So the only thing they know is to cry, because in their early stages from 0 to 2 years, Whenever they cried, they got their feedings. So they have understood that if we want anything, we have to cry. And if in those 0 to 2 years, if you see that if you have reached late to the child's volume increases for crying. Pehle he'll cry a little lower and then he'll cry louder. So at that particular time, the child has understood that if anything that I want is delayed to be provided, I will increase my volume. So this child, you have to technically and emotionally handle this child. First of all, as I mentioned, when he is throwing a tantrum, I already gave you a tip that you have to be a statue and you have to be consistent in that behavior. And believe me, 10, 20 times the child will be the same, but gradually you will find the decline of throwing those tantrums. And that throwing tantrum again is an age specific issue. As the child will try and involve in activities like playing, you can just search out if the child likes to hear stories, if the child likes to play indoor outdoor games. You have to find engaging activities for the child. As I mentioned about so many activities, role play, indoor outdoor play, games, everything. If you engage the child correctly, I think tantrum throwing definitely will decrease. My son is 4 years old. He's following each and every instruction but does not want to speak. He sings all the rhymes but communicates with us using non-verbal language. So here, you know what happens? Some children are very lazy to speak. So now, at that particular age, when we had to develop that speech quality, we have not developed that. So that time, we understood everything with the sign language, and now the child is very smart. He will use that, and his sign languages are so strong that he will be able to explain you everything to the correct. So here it is very important that now you be very strict. You program the child that beta from, for example, today is Wednesday or Tuesday or whatever day, you can give him a time limit that beta till Sunday we will see all the sign languages and we will understand. But from Monday, if you speak only then we will give. Here you have to be very, very, very firm. And once you decide on Monday, definitely whatever kuch bhi ho jaye, you have to be on what you said that, okay, ab aap bologe to hi aapko milega, because his speech, his vocabulary has to develop, his language has to develop. So we have to be little firm on that part. Anishta, you will have to tell me the time also when we have to wrap up so that I have some time in hand. My boy is 5.5 years old. He's mild autistic. He's frustrated to be at home and does shouting, banging the doors, pinching, crying, throwing things. So yes, autistic children need a lot of exploration, a lot of outdoor exploration. So it is going to be a challenge. But I think the doctors would be the right person to guide what activities to do with them, because I'm not a medical professional, so I will not be able to address this question. My son is 3.9 years old. He sometimes very rigid, unnecessarily cries and shouts, and we are not able to stop them. So, as I mentioned earlier, also that these are age-specific behaviors. So let them. If you feel that they are crying loud, ek aad bar, have that heavy heart and let them cry and see till what extent they are crying, and then give a tight hug and try to understand and give that hug with a complete feeling of understanding. That feeling has to transfer from one person to the other, so that child understand that the person who has hugged me, because it works. When you hug a person with a positive energy, it definitely transfers. So you have to do that on and often. And I think these children who have a lot of crying issues, they thrive on touch. So at times, frequently, pure din mein, if it is possible, try and hug the child, try and kiss the child, or if you cannot do anything, sit beside your child and cuddle him, or watch television, or read a book loudly. I think the child is thriving for those touches at that particular moment. So it's very important. I think this touch therapy will definitely work. Then next question is, my child is 2 years old. He's very naughty and does not play with any toys. Instead, throws them. I bought him activity toys. I sit with him, but he does not sit for a minute. How can I use his energy? Okay. So now this child does not like toys. So what here as a mother you should do is that don't expect anything. If you've brought any toys, you start playing and you start enjoying that play. Let that child see that. Because sometimes, we bring toys, but children don't know how to play, and the way we explain, they cannot understand. So, first of all, I will request age specific toys. Second, if you've bought those age specific toys, they are age specific. Number two is if you want the child to develop interest, sit down and start playing. Let the child observe. If he is not observing, you are playing, he goes away, you continuously do that for 10 minutes for at least 7 days at a given point of time. For example, say 6 p.m. in the evening, you're opening those Jenga boxes and you're playing with those blocks. The child has seen that, he's running away. Let him run away. You have done your job. Believe me, on the 8th day you will find a little difference. Second, then you have to understand, okay, if on the 8th day also you don't find any interest, that means that child does not have any interest at this point of time to play with the toys. He is finding something else. So involve him in the home chores. For example, as I said, fridge में से पानी का bottle लेकर आओ, ये रख दो, वो कर दो, fold napkins, कुछ भी, कैसा भी. So try and understand if he likes that. Then books, if the child likes the books. So try different things, and definitely you will click on one thing, okay, this works with my child. So you have to keep changing the patterns of your approach. My son is 2 years and 8 months. What he wants. At times his behavior, yes. So this is very important. He wants means earlier when he has demanded, we have provided. So this behavior is cultivated. So here, if we want this behavior to discontinue, we have to stop. We have to tell that, okay, and we have to be firm, as I mentioned in my talk also, that we have to be very, very firm when we say a no. And no, to tell a no, we need guts, and to be consistent on that no needs more guts. So if you tell no and that no is not accepted, you have to be firm and be ready for any fight that happens with the child. But your facial expression, your eyes has to be calm and cool, as if it makes no difference to you. So here, yes, this chain has to be broken, that whatever the child demands, he will not get. Because certain things have to be earned also. You can't just demand and you get. So that, and the child is in that phase to now understand. So break that first, then develop and program that child that ये नहीं मिलेगा तो कभी मिलेगा, और कभी मिलेगा तो क्यों मिलेगा. So bring those things together and then it will work. But yes, these are challenging behaviors. As I said, it's very easy to say but very difficult to implement, and keep a consistency over that implementation. Please suggest what to do with my child. She's very, very sensitive. She's little weak and usually lagging behind compared to other children of her age. This does not give her confidence. She starts avoiding going out for play with her friends. I'm worried. Okay, when the child is physically weak, I'm sure you are very right that she will definitely avoid to go out and play. So what you do is you don't keep her with her age children. Go an age below that. So if she's 5 years, try to make friends with 3.5 or 4 years, because of her physical imbalance that I'm talking, that physically she's not that fit. So the goals that 3.5 or 4 year children reach, I think she will be able to reach. It's only the physical deficiency that is at discussion now. So I think we have to address that. So don't keep her with that peer group. I'm sure in the schools, definitely she will have to face that challenge. But at home, definitely we can, provide that kind of an environment. Second, when you are judging her, you have to keep in mind her physical inefficiency first. So you yourself should not rate her with other children. You have to accept And that is very difficult because most of the times mothers tell that, okay, I have accepted, but they have not, because here it is showing something different, and here it is showing something different, and here it is showing something different. So all three have to be in place. So it's very important for the child, because the confidence gained will be first from your own home. Charity begins at home. So you will have to give that confidence to the child. So if you start using those words, and I don't know whether you're using or no, but if you start using those words when you're talking to your husband or the other family members, that yes, she's very weak, no, so she can't play with them. If you start using, she will indirectly start programming her mind in that way. So here, choice of words, use of language, or use of words that we do in a conversation with the family members are very, very important. So make note of that. I think I've taken almost all the questions. Nishta, any more questions? I hope everyone has enjoyed the session. On the Facebook also, I can see a lot of comments. So if you have any questions that you still want, you can drop that on the Facebook. I will definitely revert with my answer, my best knowledge to that answer. So I'm waiting for Nishta. Let me just see if I have any questions on the Facebook. Yes, a parent is asking, can a child be fun-loving in one situation and yet become sensitive and determined? Yes. A child can have all the four categories in all different situations. In 24 hours, you will find this child fun-loving, this child sensitive. So all the qualities can be there. But yes, there will be any one quality or any one type which will be at large. So then you can differentiate that. Yes, someone is asking me, ma'am, please tell me how to understand their feelings. Yes, so their feelings can be understood by how they react to any situation. Are they crying, or are they, becoming nervous? Are they fearing for anything? So sometimes words will not help. Unspoken behavior will help here. So you will have to understand what is going in their mind, because when you look at the child, and if child is struggling with anything, you will definitely, as a mom, वो अंदर का एक instinct होता है which will take you through what the child is feeling. So you will have to then understand कि this child is just standing like this, मतलब she's shivering, she's fearing something, or any anxiety is there. So you will have to go to that level to understand, and these are unspoken words, so they have to be felt with touch and with observation. So I'll just check. Perfect. So I really had a very good time. Thank you, all the audience. Thank you, First Cry. Thank you, Nishta. Thank you, Surja, for everything. I really had a wonderful time. Thank you. Shall I end the live video, Nishta? And before I sum up, I will just again give a key tip. There is nothing such as perfect parenting. So do not try to be a perfect parent, because each child is different, each situation is different, and in each situation, how the child reacts, how the mother reacts, how the father reacts is going to be very, very different. So let me scroll down if I have any questions. I have a few compliments also that y'all have liked, so thank you so much. My daughter is reluctant to write. She also made to sit on the floor every single day. Oh my God. So writing also is a big issue, because pre-writing skills, if they are not developed in a child, it really, does not fascinate the child to write. So look upon the pre-writing skills also of the child. So with this, I wrap up my today's show, and I really enjoyed being on this show. Thank you so much. Thank you.